Well, we're back. We're going to be working on the Cutlass today, and we're going to play the favorite game known as Let's Find the Shake. As I've stated before, my Oldsmobile is probably one of my more favorite cars. Haven't done a whole lot of work to it in the 15 years I've owned it, but it needs a new battery, so I'm going to go down and buy a battery for it today. But I thought this would be a good opportunity to take it for a road trip, then bring it back home, see what's shaking, and check it all out, and show you the whole process to find out what's vibrating on an automobile when you have this problem that I have. It's pretty smooth up to about 55, 60 miles an hour, and then it starts vibrating pretty good. So it can be several things. It could be tire related, it could be suspension related, it could be anything. Now, I know it's not a U-joint because I have gone and replaced all those, and I've gotten under the car and shaking it. Doesn't seem to be any weights missing either. Now, if it was a U-joint, or the U-joint was, or the drive shaft, if that was bent, you would notice that. You'll notice a bent drive shaft at any speed, and you'll notice one that's missing a weight at just about any speed, because it'll just get worse and worse the faster you go. This doesn't do that. So it is most likely a transmission mount, or something just came loose like that. But we'll check out the front end, we'll go over the tires, and we'll eliminate several things. Now, one of the first things you should do is start looking for odd wear on the tires. These are new, and they're in pretty good shape. We're going to check the air pressure on them to make sure this one's probably needs a little air. It's at, there we go. It's at just a hair, about 34. I like to run them about 40, but this will be all right. I checked all the lug nuts to make sure they were tightened. So we'll go back and do this on the other tires too. So you just have to run and look for odd tire wear and see if anything in the tire's poking out. So we'll do that on all four tires, and then get a little deeper from there. Well, we're gonna go take a run up to Walmart to go pick up a new battery, which we need to get anyway, so we might as well do a road test and see where she shakes and shimmies and get that all figured out. So she showed up, so yeah, I guess she can come too. So we're at 45 miles an hour and she is smooth as glass. So let's kick it up to 55 and see what. We're up to 55 now. So we're up to 55 now, and I'm feeling a little bit of road tremble, but it's still good. So we're not on a 65 mile an hour stretch yet. So let's get up to that and see what happens. Okay, so we had it up to about 70 and we started feeling a little vibration. Now, I did air the tires up to 40 psi universally all the way around it, and the vibration is significantly less. So that tells me that it's probably in the tires. Now, the brand of tire that's on here, I've had nothing but trouble with them anyways. So I suspect that might be it, but we're gonna go through and check the mounts and everything else, because the vibration was there and it was uniform to how it is. It just wasn't as severe as it normally was. So let's go and do a little more running around, do a little turns, and we'll see what else happens, and hopefully we can put this thing up on jack stands when I get home and we'll get it checked out. shaking up to about 100. But what happened was when I let off, it started vibrating going down. And that right there signifies that it's probably a mount. So we're gonna go home, check the mounts, and put this thing up on, like I said, jack stands. So let's get back to the house and check it out. Okay, so what we've done now is we've actually just jacked up the car. I didn't think I needed to film that because, well, I'm jacking up a car. Got our jack stands underneath. So the first thing we're gonna do to check is we're gonna grab the wheel to see if there's any play. And there is a little bit of play, but if you look under here, it's actually in the steering. So we're not worried about that, but there's no back and forth like that. There's nothing out of whack. So now we got to go over and check the other side to make sure that the bearings and all that, and it's not wobbly on that side. So let's go do that. Okay, now that we're on this side, we just kind of do the same thing. There's, other than the usual steering, it probably shouldn't be that loose, but it is. But now that we got that, what you want to do is just take the tire and give it a spin, and run your hand along it just to make sure it's not got any raised areas, bubbles, or anything like that. I don't think these tires do, so I haven't found any yet. So now that we've got that done, let's get on the creeper. We'll crawl underneath and take a look under there. Well, now that we're underneath the car, this is my oily mess. As you would expect on a car that's 42 years old, there is a little bit of play, you know, in the steering. It's not bad. From what I could see, the ball joints appear to be okay. But, well, nope, that one is probably getting... That one, the boot is ripped on that, so we know that one's kind of going the way of the buffalo. And I'm sure the other one is too. And of course, with the suspension stretch, because it's up, you know, that's going to make things look a little odd too. But boy, this thing's dripping a lot of oil. There's not really much underneath here that's standing out right now. The whole car is just in a general state of, it's worn out. It's 42 years old. It's a 1977. Almost 43. Hey, how about that? And it probably could use a front end rebuild, but I'm not going to do that right now. So what we'll do while we're under here is we'll take a look at the mounts real quick. And I had the transmission replaced, so we're going to check the bolts on the back of that, because a lot of times when people put in brand new transmissions, they won't Loctite the bolts, and I've had them fall out. And I actually had a transmission almost fall out of the truck one time because all the bolts came out. So let's check that. Well, other than the massive amounts of oil all over everything, and it's back to marking its territory because I put oil in it, the transmission mount actually appears to be in decent shape. If you really want to check it, a lot of times you can just put a jack under it and just, well, don't put it under the pan, but find someplace solid, like, and just start pushing up just a little bit, and if it comes apart, it's shot. So, but I don't see any rips or tears or anything like that. So let's go check something else. Now let's go check the rear. We're going to jack it up, but just remember, always block the front wheels, especially when you're in this driveway, because the front wheels roll freely, and you jack it up and you get too high, this thing will roll forward. So let's brace the front wheels and get the back end up. Okay, so what we're doing now is kind of the same that we did on the front. We're spinning the wheel, we're checking for raised spots or any separation. We go like that, you can feel a little bit of clunking, but when I look underneath, the drive shaft's not moving, it's in the rear end. It's just a regular slack from the rear end. This is just a one wheel peel rear end. So we got this side and everything seems to be going well, so we'll go check the other side now. So now, like I said, just the same thing. We're just spinning the rear end around, and there's not any real things happening here. What I'm actually thinking the shake is probably is I have one of these tires is out of balance, and when it gets a little low on air, it tends to shake a little worse. The more air I put in it, the better it gets. But I've never been impressed by this brand of tire, and they're going to be gone here soon. But like I said, everything seems to be good, so now we can drop the rear end and we'll look under the hood. So now we're going to go ahead and pop the hood here, and we'll take a peer inside, and I'll show you what to look at in here. Down here, just right under the exhaust, are the motor mounts, and they're hard to see, but you can get them from the underside, which doesn't fill me with joy because you saw how nasty it was. Same ones under there. I don't know if you can see it. No, it's underneath there too. But underneath, they're pretty easy to get to. You just have to lift the engine up. But there's a way to check it, and we'll do that now. The engine will jump a little bit under load if you put it in reverse or you put it in drive. So we're going to fire the thing up. I'm going to put it in drive, give it a little bit of gas, and see if she jumps. And if she jumps anything more than usual, that's the mount. So let's try that. We gotta go forward now.
All right.
Now reverse. There it is. Okay, so what we saw was going straight forward, the driver's side seemed to hold pretty good, but when I threw it in reverse, it came up a whole lot more than it was supposed to. And that, I've actually had this happen before. That's how I kind of figured it was an engine mount. When you're slowing down and the torque is off the engine, it'll tend to flutter a little bit, but when the rubber's gone, it sits there and shakes. So the passenger side motor mount's out, so I know once I change that out, and I'll change them both out at the same time. Once I change them out, it'll be good as new. So that'll be a problem for another day, I guess. Well, finding a vibration can be a little bit of a pain, but if you learn what different vibrations mean, you know, a lot of people think a vibration is a vibration, but if you learn how to identify the different nuances of the vibration, whether it's mechanical, whether it's harmonic, whether it's just constant all the time, you start getting a feel for what these certain things are. Like I said, I'd been through this kind of vibration before. I kind of figured it was the passenger side motor mount, because the driver's side motor mount will act differently than the passenger side when one goes out. The transmission, that'll act differently. Tires are an iffy thing. Tires, you have to check all four of them, because you feel like your steering's about to go out, and it can actually be the back tire. I've had that happen. So it just takes patience and a little bit of work and having an idea what you're looking at. But once you get a feel for it and the nuance and you understand your vehicle, that's like I talked about. You know, I've had this vehicle for 15, 16 years now, and so, you know, I sit here and I build a relationship with it, and I understand the vehicle. So, but, you know, that's what happens with your car also. You know, understand your vehicle. And these things aren't going to be a big deal. Changing this motor mount, once I get the mount and I get under there, and it's going to be a greasy mess, but truthfully, it shouldn't take me more than an hour or two if I really screw around. So I appreciate it. I hope this has been helpful. I enjoy this Oldsmobile, and let me know if you'd like to see more of it, because I'm probably going to do some more of it. So I appreciate it, If you like the videos, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.